5 months later, why is Jamaica still a tangled mess? The Melissa recovery. Look at the streets right now. If you live in Westmoreland, Hanover or St. James, chances are you're still seeing it. 5 months after Hurricane Melissa tore through the West, the streets, the sidewalks have turned into obstacle courses. We aren't just talking about debris anymore. We're talking about tangled and dangerous utility wires hanging so low. They're brushing against people's gates and catching on wheels of passing cars. Today is March 29 while recording this. A major warning just dropped from the United Nations Office for Project Services, UNOPS. They are telling us straight, Jamaica's recovery will fail if we don't stop working in silos. While the government celebrates budget wins, 90,000 households are still displaced or living in gutted houses. Is the big rebuild actually happening? Or are we just tripping over the wires of our own bureaucracy? Let's get into the truth. Let's start with the immediate danger in Savanna-la-Mar. Mayor Delancey just sounded a warning, or the alarm, I should say. There has already been at least one motorbike accident caused by loose hanging cables. Pedestrians are being forced off the sidewalks and into the path of speeding traffic because the utility companies, JPS, Flow, and Digicel, can't seem to coordinate who owns which wire. JPS says they are prioritizing getting the power on first and cleaning up later. But it's been 5 months. Waste management crews say they can't even pick up garbage in some lanes because the wires are too low for the trucks. When the simple act of opening your gate or walking to the shop becomes a life-threatening hazard, you have to ask, where is the accountability? Why is the coordination so broken? This brings us to the trending story from the UN today. William Gonzalez from the UNOPS just gave a blunt interview. He said, Jamaica's recovery cannot be a government alone effort. He warned against the silo effect. That's when the Ministry of Works fixes a road, but the utility company hasn't fixed the wires. And the NWC hasn't fixed the pipes. We are spending billions, but are we spending it twice? The UN is telling us that if we don't bridge the gap between central government in Kingston and the local empowerment in the parishes, this reconstruction will stall. With 12.2 billion US dollars, that's US dollars, yes, in total damage from Melissa, we don't have the luxury of making mistakes. We need a united national push, not a disjointed scramble for optics. And then there's the faith factor. Minister Desmond Mackenzie announced that the government is handing out checks to over 400 churches that were damaged. Sounds good, right? But the religious leaders are already calling the $75 million fund a drop in the bucket. In St. Elizabeth alone, the concentration of damaged churches is massive. These aren't just places of worship. They are community centers and shelters people ran to when Melissa hit. If the moral fabric of the community, the churches, can't afford to put a roof back on, how can we expect the individual families to recover? It highlights the massive gap between the government's bold budget and the actual cost of materials on the ground in 2026. The word of the day is resilience. But resilience isn't just about surviving the storm. You see, it's about how you get back up. As we look at the tangled and dangerous wires in Westmoreland and the 90,000 families still without a proper roof, the truth is clear. We're in a race against time. The next hurricane season is just around the corner. If we don't take the UN's advice, if we don't stop the silo mentality and start a joint national effort, we're going to be hit twice as hard next time. Jamaica, are you seeing the progress in your community? Or are you still dodging wires on your way to work? Drop a comment below. Let's put some pressure where it belongs. I'm Dovey and this is the State of the Nation. Walk good.